Is marriage getting easier or harder?
There are women that are getting married who are divorced with, 2 kids, 3 kids, and men are accepting that as well. Once she completed her master's, her husband supported her through her master's degree, and she successfully became a biomedical scientist and had, mashallah, now 4 kids. You have to, it's 50-50. Like, you have to, if the day when you respect his family, he will automatically respect your family.
That's 100% true.
You should have date nights.
Important.
It's very important. Have your date nights. Plan in advance. Make sure that revive the marriage, and it's all possible.
Are marriage apps creating monsters, or has this generation completely forgotten how to compromise? On this episode of the Majid Khan Podcast, Sophia Khalid breaks down the real reasons behind the modern divorce crisis, hidden red flags, and why getting married has never been harder. Stick around, this one gets real.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I want to know, before we get into the difficult topics and difficult things into it, let's talk about this, right? And they're going to make you comfortable as well. Why Britain needs another marriage organization for Muslims?
The reason they need this is because there is, pre-COVID, basically all the youngsters, every household has lost an older person.
Right.
So someone has passed away. So all the grandparents, the mothers, some people lost their mothers, their fathers. They lost families. So there's that gap that those families are no longer there to keep the family together. Who used to sort of fill that gap in to find potential.
I never thought about it. That's a very different angle. You're gone.
To find those potential proposals. There was there was always that grandma you can perhaps rely on, or that mother you can rely on, or the father. So families have become so distortionate now that it's become really important for. That's why there's a gap in the market, and people have come about to go down this direction of hosting events where people can come together, and we're creating that safe space. You create that safe space where people can come in and, look for a potential life partner.
And, like people talk about COVID all the time. COVID did this, COVID did that. I never thought about this, that COVID has done this to us as well.
It's a huge impact. We're just touching COVID, but it's quite a huge topic of what COVID has actually done to this generation, to the current generation, the 22-year-olds to like 26-year-olds. What's happened to them? People were isolated at home, so all of a sudden, the fear of sort of speaking out, losing that confidence of being able to speak openly and be, they're socially awkward. That's what's happened.
And that's what COVID has done to us as well. We are on the cameras, those, all that stuff.
And speaking to people like humans, it's really awkward. Everyone became isolated. It was quite depressing. So, I think it's so important that there are these agencies out there. There are people out there who can help people reconnect. Again, it's also, some people also make really good friends, lifelong friends. You sort of create a community within yourselves, within the little groups you make, and it sort of helps them open up. People share same visions. There's that. So that is why there's such a need for these marriage agencies.
British Muslim marriage, is that the name?
Yeah, that's who we are. Yeah, British Muslim marriages. We saw the gap in the market because it's so difficult to find. It's so difficult. People are in this hustle and bustle in the busy London city, where you go to work, you're in a routine, you go to the gym, you come home, and you chill with a few friends, perhaps over the weekend. But when people are so busy working, they stop to think that, oh gosh, we're now sort of reaching our 30s, or we've reached 27 or 24, and maybe it's time to settle down.
And you come from a divorce background. You publicly talk about that, but how much did help you to shape your mission? Your mission is to helping people to get married and stuff. How much help it came from that?
It's helped a lot because we can relate. Now what we're finding is that there's more people who are in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s who are looking to get married and, who are divorced. So there's also a high divorce rate, but there's also the need for people who want to remarry. And when they're looking to remarry, it's really difficult, in finding that spouse. So coming from like two people from a divorce background, we thought that this is like the best sort of like, how can those people, the single mothers, the divorced, find potentially to come back, to lift themselves back up and, come back to normality and, think, okay, it doesn't all end here. What now we're divorced, this is it, it's the end all.
That's what most of the people think, especially a woman with children.
Yes.
Couple of kids, and she's maybe young, 20, 30-year-old with two children and divorced.
Yes.
I feel like, I don't know, how do they feel? But what goes on?
That's the problem. These 30-year-olds are single mothers. They are really, really struggling because it's become like there's a high divorce rate. So marriages become even harder because, people don't perhaps want to take on someone else's children. So, then they're thinking, okay, I'm a single mother. They've got their homes, they've got their lifestyle. They're working probably mothers as well. Yeah. But obviously they do want a life partner. And that's where they struggle, that where shall we look? What shall we do now? All of a sudden they had this whole home and now it's just them and their children and their husband.
Yes, sure. And you mentioned a couple of times the divorce rate is too high.
Very
when
high.
You say that, you're talking about Muslim community or in general? And why is that?
I would say if you're looking at the Muslim community, yes, there's a huge...
Muslim community here in the UK.
In the UK. Muslim community here in the UK, there is a high divorce rate because these days no one is willing to compromise. That's what it's boiled down to. The compromise. It's not... So we're, so I'm an 80s...
What do you mean when you say that no one is willing to compromise?
The thing is, when it's almost like, women come with their checklist. I want this. Like perhaps they don't want to live with the in-laws, and I want to move out now, I need my space. It's that I need my space. Compromise could be even in an argument. Where's the resolution? Like, when are they going to resolve this argument? Nobody's willing to come together to basically come to a middle ground to say, we can resolve this. And usually I would say from experience that the older generation, if it's the parents or the grandparents or mediation, no one's willing to mediate and make it work, True. And it's just all there's so many aspects of it, but one main thing is where there's no mediation left anymore. People don't want to interfere in someone else's matter, trying to make it work. Like, there's too many people start listening to, my friend said this or that person said this. People are not making decisions for themselves. It's just, we can touch base later, social media is one aspect, but divorce, if you're looking at the older lot, divorce, it could be many reasons. Obviously they've they may be coming from two people who are a husband and wife who are working, both are working, and then where do you find that balance of home life?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Where do you find the balance of a home life and your, you've got your children, you're both working. Now, who's looking after the kids? So it could be, there's so many things that are, that basically...
We'll touch upon, we'll talk about it in detail later on as well, but that's very, very interesting what you're saying, that these are the factors. But when you started your journey, like, what surprised you the most about the people who were looking to get married?
People that are looking to get married, they've got like non-negotiables. Like, they won't, they're not willing to talk, to speak to each other. They lack communication and social skills. And the biggest thing is that people are not negotiating. They've got their non-negotiables. And the biggest thing here is that people are not compromising with each other. And there's no, marriage is sacrifice. And that's what they're lacking, is sacrifice.
So do you think that are there like a marriage crisis here in the UK, in the Muslim community?
There's a huge crisis, yes, and it's these social apps. No disrespect to social apps, but they're creating a huge. It's like a whole new weapon of mass destruction. As such, they're creating this whole new, opening up a whole new, world. Which social media apps are creating a lot of problems for people to actually have real life commitment. People are struggling to commit to a marriage, to commit to a relationship, which leading to marriage, of course, and people are not willing to compromise, commit, and it's just these apps are making things a lot more difficult for people to settle down, because women and men both do want to settle down. They do want to settle down. People do want to get married, and the ladies that are divorced with children, everyone has a right for a second chance.
Of course. Yeah.
But these guys, it's just there's too many options. That's the thing. What echoes is that no one's willing to sacrifice, and commitment is a huge issue.
And what about these apps with like they call it
marriage apps?
I'm not going to name anyone. Muslim one especially.
Muslim marriage apps, yes.
How do you see them? Are they helping anyone?
They creating monsters. They're creating a whole new. It's a very scary world out there, and everyone's got to protect their own self, their children. The social apps, the Muslim apps are causing a lot of problems for why people do not want to commit to marriage.
Why do you think so? What was the main reason?
The main reason is that everyone's people just want to perhaps have fun.
Yeah,
it's almost like there's this app. The apps are available, and people sort of either are talking for a year, 2 years, and perhaps they're not even meeting each other face to face, because there's.
Is that what happens as well?
Yeah, they're talking. They're talking on the phone, or just behind the scenes.
But you met on a marriage app. Your intention is to get married.
Correct.
So what happens? And they start talking, and then
they start talking, and a lot of people. The feedback I've had is that people are talking on the app. Perhaps they've been speaking to someone for a year, and when it comes to the marriage phase of now let's meet the family, and perhaps that should happen anyway within. After 3 months of the talking phase, then 6 months you're sort of now getting to see the real person, and then start getting the families involved. People just string you along for a year, and then all of a sudden, when they do want to come forward for the proposal, they've backed out. So that's 1 year wasted.
Definitely,
that's just a year wasted like that. And people sort of there's a lot of profiles that are created on the apps, which are basically false. So they're fabricated. They're not who the person who says, people say who they are, but they're actually not portraying that in reality. That's true. Yeah. So, you have to be very careful on who you're speaking to behind the screens. And also, it could be something from their age, little things like age. People are lying about their age, their height, the family background, whether they have been married and divorced before, children, like whether the marriage, are they single? Are they looking for a second wife?
Yeah, and that's the big thing as well.
That's the big thing, yes.
And what do you think in your experience? How is it like in this country? Like people are hiding that they are married already, but they're looking for second wife.
That's right, yes. Because we had our event, for example, we've had our events, and we had an issue as well where people have people are trying to attend the event by saying that they will tell you that they're looking for a second wife. We're like, we're sorry, but that's not what we.
But if someone is telling you,
yes,
makes sense.
Yes,
at least they are telling you.
Yes.
But how do you deal with people who are not telling you? And how much are they that kind of crisis? Like they hide their first marriage, they get married. For example, they look for someone and they get married to that person. How that things get really scary and
that's really
crazy here.
That's crazy. That's really messy because a lot of people are either what they're doing is just wasting time. So let's say they're not even actually going to get to that marriage phase, but they're just not they're not disclosing that they have been already married, and they've got this wife and children at home, and they're saying, they'll say, perhaps people are going to say, there could be the reason that they're saying, my wife's dying of cancer. and then this story is, this lot sort of like, getting to know someone phase has turned into a love story, and by the time the woman knows she's fallen in love with this guy, and he's a married man, and he's saying, no, I'm actually separated, but then they come to realization that actually this person is a married man with XYZ children.
And in this whole scenario, who do you think man is lying? Fine.
Yeah.
But how much is the fault of a woman?
I think women are to equally blame in some situations as well. Like
for example,
they need to be really quite cautious. They should, instead of continuing a conversation online, they should really, ask for that meeting, or get the early involvement, of families, or ask for, if they're a mature adult and they want to meet on their own or with another Mehram, get a Mehram involved, and meet the person, rather than having conversations months on end. For a woman, she just needs to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more, do a little bit more background research about the person. Just do the basics. If you get the basics right, you can perhaps find out a lot about the person, and also in conversations you will get to know the person's character and behavior. Is that person caring? Is that person respectful? It's important to know, who their families, who their friends are, who do they associate with. How much does like family time mean to them?
And do you think, like, another thing I just wanted to talk about this, what's changed from our parents' generation to now in terms of marriage?
Thank you. I appreciate that question. Our parents' time, seriously, it was our parents' time. It was literally there was always sacrifice and compromise. And the thing is, they hang in there with a marriage. I mean, they had no choice, did they? Our generation, our parents, they had no choice. They basically were in that marriage, and they knew they had to make it work.
Yeah,
they didn't have they didn't have options of phone calls and social media. They didn't have options of TikTok too, for example. Opinions. Their circle of friends was their family, the husband, the wife, the mother-in-law. The family, the first close-knit family they married into. But they didn't have the luxuries of maybe a phone. Mobile phones and things like that. It was very basic. And the thing is, in our parents' generation, it was there was no social media. Firstly, there was no social media, but also there was a lot of sacrifice. They sacrificed for each other, and they did work together. Like in that generation, our families lived together. They lived together. There was a bond. The grandmother and the grandfather were like basically the shadow of the family, and they were like the head of the family. So there was that. The grandparents were known. This generation, people don't know who their grandparents are. They don't want to. I think in our parents' generation, they would spend time. They would sit and have a conversation, eat together.
Of course, that's a beautiful tradition.
Tradition. The traditions. This generation has lost the traditions. The traditions have lost its value. So there's no value for who my provider is. Like there is no. I would say Islam is huge in Britain. Islam is spread quite quickly. It's not that. It's just the children of this generation have too many options. In the parents' generation, there was no options. They're done with the bare minimum they had, and they were happy. They were happier. We're not saying that they didn't have a choice, but the thing is, they made it. They made it, and
And when you talk about options, I feel like this is kind of like a. You feel like, this one, am I going to get someone better? Let me go. But that is kind of like I feel like fake thing as well. Like, like that kind of expectation, am I going to find someone better than this person?
Yes, and I've had a few conversations with people where they have said that whilst we're at university.
Yeah.
We have this, that, you know, we may like someone, but then we're thinking, then there's another 10 girls walking past us, maybe we could do better. And the options are huge. And it's not only face-to-face, it's more like TikTok options, you know, social media, Instagram options. People are talking to people on Instagram as well.
On these marriage apps, you're just swiping right.
Marriage apps, you're swiping, and people are talking to, you know, all sorts of people.
Multiple people at the same time.
Multiple people. That's the thing. There's no ethnicity. There's no sort of culture. There's no values left. I think this generation is lacking the values of, you know, what the parents did, what the parents were maybe perhaps less fortunate at that time. For them, that was everything.
But they were content. They were like,
content. That's the main thing.
They found one person, they spend the rest of the life with that person.
Like our parents.
Happily, exactly like our parents. Same.
Like my mom and dad
as well,
cannot live without each other, you know, till this day.
They've been married for 40 years, 45 years.
Yes.
Happy days.
Happy days, and we're their children, and we're here. And it's just, this generation is, they're lost. The thing I have is that they're lost, or this generation is slightly lost. They can't. The biggest thing in terms of marriage, and if you ask us from British Muslim marriages perspective, is that they do not have any patience. Sabr.
Yeah.
Sabr can make or break. They have no tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
They may pray, but it's to have tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to know that practice it, to believe that, you know what, let's have some patience. Like with marriage, I would say from that time to now, there was sacrifice, the biggest thing, and there was basically compromise, and you were content.
Yeah.
Now, social media is causing a lot of anxiety. It's causing a lot of people have got trauma, and there's a lot of depression to the point that mental health is huge. I mean, that's a topic in itself, but mental health is taken over this generation.
Yeah.
There's I would say for every other household, there is someone suffering in silence.
Yeah.
And again, it does go back to COVID, pre-COVID, and what's happened during COVID.
There's another thing, we'll talk about social media as well there, and if you can give me a few examples how social media can affect people. Another trend I've been noticing these days is people are, especially when we talk about people, we talk about Muslims here in the UK, they are getting married very late. That's a new thing as well. People used to get married 25, 26-year-old. I feel like this is a good time, good age to get married.
Yes.
But people are getting married very late. Why is that?
The biggest reason is that some people end up doing their degree, and from their degree, they move on to their masters. So a lot of people firsthand coming to our events have said that we've got, you know, we were doing the degree, and by the time we've realized it's time to get married and settle down, we left it too late.
Are we talking about men here or women here?
Women, for example, are saying that we've left it, and men as well. So there are people who are lawyers, solicitors, as well as, you know, like from the professional background, and the women are from professional backgrounds.
Yeah.
What they're saying, what we're seeing, the trend is here, is that they've left it late because they've been very busy studying, doing their masters. Okay, you do complete your degree at 21, but then you go on to do a master's. Then what do? You're working full time. Yeah. By the time they're working full time, they say, you know, you're in a routine. You come home, you're in your routine, and
time
then
flies as well.
Time flies, and they're like, okay, you know, now what should we do? Twiddling with their thumbs, and it's like, oh, didn't even think about marriage. You know, we know that it's in the background.
Don't you think it's the parents' job to be? I know sometimes people are here, or my parents are nagging, or they want me to get married and stuff. But I feel like that's a good thing. At least someone is there to tell you get married.
It's so good.
Because you don't know yourself. You're going to regret later on in life.
And that's what most people are saying. They do have that regret. That's the irony. They do have that regret now. That wish we had listened to our parents, and, you know, because the thing is, you build yourselves together. So even though they were doing, you know, their masters and they're studying and they're now working, you know, you can stop, pause, get married, and build together, you know, your future. Because obviously once...
Is that possible in a Pakistani household? Pakistani woman here in the UK, born and brought up, she want to get her career, she's got an amazing degree, amazing at her job, whatever. And do you think that she can get married and do the job at the same time?
Yes, she can. She can. Like, I think women are leaders these days. Like, I can give a very close family friend, mashallah, she was heavily pregnant, studying her master's. And once she completed her master's, her husband supported her through her master's degree. And, you know, she successfully became a biomedical scientist and had, mashallah, now 4 kids.
Oh, wow.
And she does night shifts. So it is possible. She, mashallah, Allah
Mubarak.
Yeah. So British Muslims are, alhamdulillah, the women are leaders. They are, you know, working very, very hard to support. And that's the thing. The biggest thing is that they're losing the essence. Like, it shouldn't be like, we know what Islam says, you know, a woman's money is hers and a man's money is, you know, he has to provide. However, what if he's not able to completely provide? So this is what I'm saying, that when someone has, for example, a master's degree, now is working even night shifts to help
her spouse,
her spouse come together. And that's what's kept them strong for 22 years, mashallah.
Wow. 22 years.
Yeah. So it's like now they've got 4 kids, and the thing is, it's nice to have, and I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, but of course it's about compromise, and it's about the spouse. So this is what it is. It's all about what you learn is choosing the right spouse.
That's important, isn't it?
Very important. Very important. The first thing is the choices you make. So the choice you make from day one is what's going to unfold, you know,
rest of your life.
And Allahumma barik, these guys, you know, they've, mashallah, she's a biomedical scientist, works night shifts to date.
That's amazing.
The youngest daughter is 4 years of age.
Wow.
And helped build. And what happens? What do people benefit from this? Husband and wife bond, it gets stronger. You know, they build together, they build their future, their home. You know, you do everything together, which makes it more beautiful and puts barakah in that. And he supported her. Today they can support each other.
Yeah.
So because he supported her through that master's degree is the example. She did her master's degree. She was heavily pregnant. Forgot to mention, she was heavily pregnant.
No.
And a difficult pregnancy.
So do you think is a helping, a supporting husband is an important thing for a woman?
Yeah, it's all about, so if the thing is, even Islamically, they say you have to meet someone on your level, like-minded, you know, like for like. For example, if you guys come from the sort of like, try to meet a person Islamically on the same level as you. There's nothing wrong with that. Because the thing is, if you are coming from 2 different complete backgrounds, what happens? You will clash. Yeah. When you come from the same mindset and you sort of have that conversation in the beginning and he's supporting you, then of course, but however, for whatever reason, if one person, you know, you never know in life, it's good for both to have a job.
Yeah, of course.
To have that, to have something you know, you don't have to have a degree. You can just be a working person, but at least you have something to fall back on. And that's what I've noticed, that a lot of family and friends who have had children, they have bounced back to their jobs because they need to support the family.
Yeah.
And they are, and you know, the generations from our time are doing that, but what you want to touch base on later, we can touch that, why this generation can't do what the example...
Our parents' generation.
Yeah, what our parents' generation done.
We were talking about social media earlier. Let's talk about... Let me phrase this question this way.
Yeah.
Has social media have made things easier for people to find a spouse, or it made it much harder job now? Social media is supposed to make it easier, isn't it?
It's supposed to make it. It's basically fabricate. It's just fabricating they'll show a few clips. You know, we've been to Umrah. You know, alhamdulillah. You know, they're showing they're happy. Yeah. Everyone's going to post happy pictures. People are going to post things about, you know, I went on this holiday. So I've been to Umrah and, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm really happy. But nobody knows what happens behind the scenes. And also there's that pressure that people are watching social media and want that lifestyle.
That's the thing.
And it's putting the men off, because now that they're thinking that that these girls, the younger generation, are just spoiled. They want that lifestyle off social media, off TikTok. Everyone wants to become a TikToker, and they're forgetting that once you are going on Umrah, you are going on these fancy holidays, and basically they're seeing marriage as fancy holidays. We're going to go for Umrah and butterflies, and it's just a fairy tale. But life is not a fairy tale. Like there's a lot more to it. Who's going to do the cooking? Who's going to do the shopping? Who's going to share the household chores? Who's going to look after the kids? If who is going to be the mother of those children? And a man is I'm looking for a wife. I want a wife who's going to support me, and also they want to be able to communicate. This generation is lacking communication skills,
even though we have got social media and things have gone so much easier. Because there's no compromise. It's easier to say, okay, so and so got divorced. So between like 22 to 26-year-old youngsters are getting divorced much quicker within the gap. Some are getting divorced within 6 months. Why is that? 6 months.
Yes.
And we're going a little bit off topic, but I even have heard that people, some of the girls, they get married because of the wedding day itself as well, because they'll wear this amazing dress, and there's going to be £40,000, £50,000 going to be spent on the day. And then one day, once the wedding is over and the real life kicks in, they want
out. They want out, and there's a lot of things where they're saying that they want this lavish wedding, and the thing is they have to understand again, price. It's the inflation rates are so high. Like buying a loaf of bread, it's not what it was pre-COVID, right? During pre-COVID, that generation, for example, they were ready to get married. Everybody was ready. 21 to 26-year-olds wanted to be married, and everyone was coming together to get married. However, it's unaffordable. And like you said, they want this lavish wedding. It's all social media. Look, I think some of the generation, there's two sides. People do want a simple wedding as well. And then there's that side that they want the lavish. So people can't afford it. Back then, it was like £20 per head, now it's £50 per head per household. Even if you do a small wedding of 150 people, it's unaffordable. So what this generation, they're saying they're doing is they're working hard. They've all got like good jobs. So they're working hard. What they're saying is that they're looking for a husband as well. The girls are saying we're looking for a husband. Like why should we're not I can basically stand on my own feet. I'm independent. I am independent, and I can stand on my own 2 feet. What is the man bringing to the table? That's what the girls are saying now. What is it? We're too busy. We're working. I can go and basically get a mortgage. I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for is a life partner, a husband. Someone who's going to respect me and work with me. But the thing is that they're saying that the boys between 21 and 26 are not ready to settle down.
The boys.
The boys are not ready to settle down. That's some of the opinion that they're not. There's a lot of like perhaps haram relationships when they're at university. They're saying that what they've seen happen in universities now, but amongst the British Muslim Pakistanis, is crazy. So the women are quite scared. They're scared now to marry, because they're like, we can stand on our own 2 feet. What is this man going to bring? What we're looking for is respect, a partnership, a husband, but there's this big thing now, everyone's saying 50-50.
That's the thing
and
as
that it's like, don't tell me that it's 50-50. Why is it 50-50? Like, why should I can go and pay for my own meal. That's not a problem. But why is it that I have to pay 50 towards the bills? Like, why is everything going to be 50 towards a mortgage? So it's become.
But don't you think, like, if a woman is working in a marriage, she needs to,
provide as well.
As well.
Yeah, she should contribute.
She should contribute.
She contribute.
That's the right word.
And that's the thing. There has to be a balance, a compromise, and this is where they, they're just, and a lot of people have the non-negotiables, which I was saying earlier. The 21 to 26 will come with a checklist to the events. Subhanallah. and they're not willing to, they will say, look, we know Islam says you have a right, right? Don't hold me against this. Everyone, Islamically, yes, women have a right to live, ask their husband and they can move out and they can live alone, but
if
the thing
is, if
he can afford it.
I mean, his job is to provide shelter,
food, yes.
And that's the main job. If he can afford it, get you a separate house.
Yeah. So we've had sisters come to our event saying that, alhamdulillah, the event was beautiful. We had like meaningful conversations. We had meaningful conversations. However, these meaningful conversations, the one thing they said is the guys just said he's not going to ever move out of home. He's not going to leave home. I said, is that it?
Well, if he can't afford it, then...
And he's the only child. What about if he's the only child?
Definitely he can't move.
He can't move. He
needs to look after his parents as well, no?
Yes, and the thing is, look, with marriage, like I keep coming back to, is sacrifice. If you, subhanAllah, you have to work together. Maybe a man saying, never say never. If inshallah, one day when I can afford it, we can buy something and move out. But at the moment, no. No,
and I feel like in this current environment,
it's unaffordable.
Financial it's a good thing that if he stays with his parent for 5 years, something, 2-3 years, and both of them save some money and stuff and find a way to move out and stuff.
Absolutely.
That could be a strategy.
And I've been speaking to people on social media, and this is what they're saying, that even if it's in the UK or in Canada, it's unaffordable to buy a home, and the pressure is on both men and women of that age. They're saying that they can't afford to get married. It's unaffordable.
Wow.
And then obviously when they've got that pressure that if work, buy a home, the man has to buy this home.
It's hard for a man to buy a home these days. It's very hard.
It's very hard, yes. It's very hard. And
if he's in 20s, how can he buy a home?
Exactly.
And how can he rent it? Rents are sky high.
Rents are more, it's like it's the mortgage. It's like you're obviously paying double the price.
Exactly.
Now everything has doubled, and this is what it is. Pre-COVID, things were a little bit more relaxed.
Yes.
Now what's happened is since COVID, like I said.
So you're trying to say the girls have got unreal expectations?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Is that what is happening right now?
Yes. Unrealistic
because of social media.
Because of social media, yes.
And how much of the parents are to blame for? Because the thing is, as we talked about earlier, haram has become easier because it's cheaper. Doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost them anything now, yeah.
As a man, you don't need to pay for anything. No. If you get married, you have to provide.
You have to provide, correct.
If you're not married, you do whatever you like.
You do whatever you like.
And if the girls are happy with that as well, because obviously you can't blame. And that's why
there's... in summer, for example, now you would see a marriage happening you'd be invited
weddings.
I
haven't
been invited to any weddings. I've been to one.
Oh, is it?
But the thing is that this generation is not getting married. There isn't a quick turnaround. And yes, social media, like I said, there is too many options. Now the thing is that people they're on, like you said, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat. I didn't even know what Snapchat was.
True.
It's not from my, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok. And, look, all these apps are not so bad. Like Instagram, TikTok, they may not be that bad. But the thing is, this is what it is, what you touched base earlier. There's too many conversations happening. People are not content with talking to one person. They're not content.
That's a very good
boys and girls.
That's true.
It's not just boys. I'm not going to, this is not discriminating anyone. Look, marriage is a huge topic, and marriage is a sacrifice. Social media plays a part in it. It's not completely the end all and the be all. Social media plays a part where they basically showing you. Like, if I'm on holiday, I'm going to show you, I'm having a brilliant time. I'm going to show you pictures of my holiday. I've visited this mosque, or I've visited this landmark. And same, people are showing the happy side. But look, in every marriage, there will always be ups and downs.
Of course.
The reality of it, there will always be ups and downs. And with social media, what we're saying is that it's just showing just a glimpse. It's just a glimpse of what, social media also can bring two people together. I know more than 5 people that have got married
through social media,
through TikTok. There's lots of TikTok marriages.
If it helps, it helps.
If it helps, that's what I'm saying. Whatever can help. But the main thing is understanding each other and knowing that, okay, this person is serious enough now to marry me. If you're on the apps, the social apps, media apps for marriages, like anything, everything goes back to Islam. If someone passes away, you mourn for 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's right.
Unfortunately, we have to carry on with life.
Yeah.
And the same way, when you're meeting someone, give yourself a timeline.
Yeah. And what do you think is the perfect timeline? If you find someone on
6 months.
on an app,
6 months,
marriage app, 6 months.
If that conversation's going well, but a person that's in that situation already, within 3 months, they're going to know whether it's going anywhere or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So give yourself 3 months. Okay, is it going anywhere? People will know. And then 3 months is like sort of getting to know each other. Perhaps they're just messaging each other. And then the 6 month phase is where you give yourself 6 months
it's maximum. Then after.
But and again, if you're in your 30s, you have to be a lot more. You have to be. The thing is that the generation from 23 to 26, their mentality is completely different to my generation of anyone from their 30s. Yeah.
And how is that? What's the difference?
So the difference is that the thing is that you could see the maturity straight away. And the thing is that the brothers that are in their 30s as well, they're happy to sort of look at someone in the younger age group. However, the younger age group girls are not willing to look at someone older. So sometimes I believe they've shot themselves in the foot because they should, even though they say, I'm only 24, Baji, I can't consider someone who's 31, but why not? Why not? Look at our...
By talking about this, what's the ideal age gap between husband and wife in your opinion?
The ideal age gap?
In your opinion?
In my opinion, 4 to 6 years is good. It's not bad, And what I'm finding from events is people are not willing to do that.
Oh, wow, that's
they
crazy.
Just want 4 years gap or 2 years. Like if they're 20.
Why did they so specific about this age gap? Right?
Parents influence as well.
All right, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Parents. How much parents are making it harder. Let's talk about specifically British Pakistani
parents are making it. They come in there and they'll say, "Oh, Baji, my mom will actually kill you if you're considering anyone on the older scale for me." Plus, the thing is that they said that they're like, "My mom will." Their parents are not happy, so they want someone within that 3 to 4 year gap. The parents do.
Yeah.
The parents play a role as well. However, the parents are also supportive. I would say that the Pakistani British Muslims, basically the restrictions we had once we were growing up, it's completely different now.
Yeah, of course.
Parents are a little bit more accepting.
Yeah,
they are accepting. However, with the age, they probably would say, this is what we prefer. And, don't look at anyone older than that. Plus, obviously, they say that women age gracefully. And then they're like, Baji, the brother probably looks slightly older older, he's old enough to be my uncle or whatever. I'm like, have you spoken to the gentleman? You need to speak to the person. Perhaps you will, I've just, on my journey in, somebody said that, she's 23 and met a 31-year-old. She said, but we can hold mature conversations,
That's brilliant. I feel like the men, they take time to get mature as well in their 30s. Girls get mature earlier. Girls mature earlier. Yeah. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong. I would say that you need to have that 6 to 8 year gap. It's fine. But the thing is, these girls will not negotiate with that. Some of them, they want someone, whoever attends the events, they want someone, if they're 24, they want someone who's perhaps 28, 24, and you
even
think
26,
that
27.
Older they get, then they become more flexible.
Correct. So this is that you've just hit the nail on the head. The older lot are happy to compromise with someone younger.
Oh wow.
The older lot are willing to compromise with someone who's, if they're 31, a lot of them say, can we talk to the gentleman from group 1, i.e. 21 to 30-year-olds? Because I've just hit perhaps, I've just hit the 32 mark and I'm happy to talk to someone in the younger
And you're making
group.
money, you're making, like, for example, here in London, let's talk about, I wanted to go to the next question, but let's talk about this very quickly. If a girl born in this country, Pakistani, British, Bengali girl, and she got a degree, like nowadays degree doesn't mean anything, but they got a degree and they got a job of, for example, let's say £35,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
That gives you like around £2,500, £3,000 a month.
Correct.
Which is a good, and you are staying,
salary, stable
exactly. And then you're staying with your parents. So I feel like generally Pakistani Muslim parents never gonna ask a girl to give contribution towards it. They're a little bit here and there, but not on that. So all that, if you're working, for example, you got degree in 23, 24, you start working 25-year-old, you're 35 now, for 10 years you're working, you're making 35, 40, 50 grand.
Wow,
you are on £3,000 a month. You're not paying electricity bill. You're not paying for food. You're paying for takeaways, whatever, your fun and whatever. But still you're saving a lot of money in 10 years' time.
Yes.
Now she is at the stage where she has got saved, for example, £60,000.
Yes.
Sitting somewhere, she invest or buy or something. Could be do you think that it's possible what I'm saying? It could be a possibility what I see around me. That could be once she's got to that stage, why she would marry a man? She doesn't need a man, does she?
Exactly, that's another thing. That's why a lot of people are happy being single at that age, because they're more career focused. Going higher and higher and higher.
And they're doing really well.
And they're doing really well, and that's what they're saying. I mean, I got on a flight with someone, she was from Afghan origin, and she's British, Pakistani, British Afghanistan, from Afghan. She comes again from a very strict family, as you know, with the Afghanis, they're strict. And she echoed the same thing, that she's obviously working in a private sector, and that's the problem. The men are intimidated by their jobs.
That's right.
The men are intimidated quite heavily by their jobs, but don't be intimidated. Come together, work together. Like it's fine if it's obviously she wanted to study, she wanted to reach that point, and now she's on 40, 50K. That's her money, that's her. But now she's happy to settle down. But for the male, he's intimidated by that. This girl's got a better job than I have, and that's I've spoken to Bengali sisters as well, and they've said that I'm an accountant, and the Bengali brother, he's not, and they're all intimidated. And my height, for example, people even still till this day look at height. So she's just like, I'm 5'9", I'm an accountant, and when I speak to people, they're intimidated with the conversations. And
the guys.
It's crazy. And like you said, that if they're living at home, that's what and another lady I was speaking to, she goes, Baji, I'm so busy working. She's a financial analyst, for example. So, good looks and good looks come with good brains, and best of both worlds. So a lot of the girls, we've had amazing, stunning girls come to our events as well, and they're financial analysts, they've got data analysts, they've got amazing jobs. And I'm sure the brothers have as well, but they then feel, so the thing is, this is what's echoing. They also want 50-50.
Who is they? The women?
The men.
Or the men? Okay.
Yeah, the men want 50-50. They want someone who's, creative, who's a leader, who is providing, but they're also looking for a traditional housewife. They want best of every avenue. They want best of both worlds.
And men, especially South Asian men, Pakistani, Bengali, Afghani men, we all want a traditional housewife at the same time as well.
So, and there are some, like again, I'm referring back to my family friend who's the biomedical scientist. She's like, so, it's like, that can be possible, like now, this generation are batch cooking. Our parents' generation didn't know nothing about batch cooking. They're cooking in batches as they go along.
That's true.
But they're batch cooking because they're working women, they're working wives. So what there's, obviously, when, like my family friend, she's batch cooking, making sure, like I said, if they're looking for that traditional wife as well, it's all about communicating what your expectations are. You know, it's about communicating. And like you said, if she's got this, you know, she's never paid for the bills, you know, never, you know, is working, has got all of this, that's her money. And this is what it is. That's exactly what this girl on the plane echoed, that I've got a good job. Like I'm one of the very few who I went and studied outside of London as a British Afghanistani girl from Afghanistan. I've studied outside of London. I'm the first girl in my family that was allowed to live out. To go and do the degree, which is not, it's a big thing. And she said, you know, I've got a good job. I've got to say, she's well spoken. She works for a company that she couldn't disclose to even myself. And she said, you know, I work in the private sector. I can't disclose. She's in medical, I guess. And she, for example, she couldn't disclose what her job was. But she's like, she's traveling alone. Getting on a flight alone. So now, you know, women are happy to travel alone, get on flights alone. So what they want to see, what is he, where is the man adding value? But like, you know, again, we have to go back to Islam, like, you know, it depends. You want to complete half your deen.
Of course.
You need a partnership. Like if I look at my parents, I'm like, they've grown old together. They've practically lived their whole life together. And everyone wants to, what's going to happen? A lot of the girls are saying that, you know, we don't want to risk it. We don't want to grow old alone.
Yeah,
you know,
course, you need companionship.
The companionship and the, like you touched based on the divorced sisters, the same thing. Like their children are grown up, and what are they doing? They're out with their friends. They're on their phones. Like, you know, it's like I think only when families go on holiday together, that's when the phones perhaps people come off. That's when, you know, parents are saying we get our children. But other than that, the children are doing their own thing. They're busy studying, doing their, you know, A levels or going to university. So that the mother is like, you know, what about me now? You know, I'm looking for companionship and, you know, what happens.
We don't even think about that kind of When men come to your events, what do they usually tell you they are struggling with?
They say they're struggling. So the men, again, they're in their 40s, so they're a lot older,
and they're not married,
and they've never been married. And the struggle they're having is that the women that are in group 2, i.e., the older women, they have been married and divorced with children. So then that's where the problem is for the men,
because they've never been married.
They've never been married, and they're 41.
They don't want to marry a woman who's been divorced with a couple of kids.
Yeah, I think if a woman is divorced but no kids, they probably will consider that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong. Like, you know, divorce, before it was, you know, people wouldn't want to talk about it. Now people talk about it openly.
That thing is open now.
It's open now.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing at the same time? I want to ask you. Because I know parents' generation and stuff, they don't even say the word.
Talaq.
They don't say it.
Yeah.
Because, don't say this, it's not a good word. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Now I think everyone's a lot more open to it. And, you know, it's like, there was that whole thing, the shame, that's what you're saying, isn't it? It's that shame element that you're now divorced and, you know, what are people going to say?
Is it still happen? It's still hota hai.
Log kya kahenge? Haan, hota hai. It depends what generation you're from. Ke log kya kahenge? Lekin, the thing is, in this day and age, everyone's consumed in their own families, in their own homes. Like you touched based on that generation, you know, our family, our parents' generation. Families are not united anymore. So wo family ki baat hi nahi hai na. There's no togetherness.
Yeah.
So wo log kya kahenge doesn't hold any substance because wo log hai nahi. They're not. There's nobody around. People have moved away. People are not no longer talking to each other. There's so much gap in the family that, you know, the grandchildren, people don't know who the second generation is. Like, you don't recognize your own family members. Like, you know,
true.
You don't know who.
But wasn't supposed to get better because the parents the people who came to this country from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh and stuff, they were not really educated people and stuff. The first generation. But now people came to this country, they got education in this country, they went to university or whatever. It's a first world country. Things, even though you are British Pakistani, British Bengali or whatever, but still things should get better, isn't it?
I think things have got better. Like I think that generation, our parents that came from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, they themselves now are using things like TikTok and social media. Like my mother would say, download TikTok for me, for example. So they are. It is like it's like if a person back then was going through an iddat period, they. Everybody would come and, pay their respects. It was that's what I'm saying. There was a lot of tradition and culture. Yes, there was a culture that, we have to go and do,
I don't think it's a bad culture.
It's not a bad culture. I come from that generation that I appreciate that culture. I will always appreciate that culture. I will always appreciate my grandparents and my mum's parents and, how they kept the families together.
Yeah. And they had a respect for each other.
They had that respect for each other, and people would sit on a dinner table together. So the cultural aspect, what we're saying is that people have divorce is in London anyway. I don't know how it is in other areas of United Kingdom, but in the UK, in London, I think it's a lot more, people are a lot more open about it. People are a lot more accepting towards it. There are people who are there are women that are getting married who are divorced with, 2 kids, 3 kids, and men are accepting that as well. They're accepting those children. I have seen it firsthand where they are accepting someone else's children. But it's if you go online, for example, the men would have that as a non-negotiable, that they will consider a divorced woman, but they will not consider somebody else's kids.
If their preference is that way, then
everyone has a preference, yes. But then obviously there's others that have people have taken on people's children as well. Men are accepting to take, but if you're going back to our events, so men who are in their 40s and in their 30s. They are struggling because they've never been married before, and then the woman is expressing that, look, I have been married, I've divorced, and I've got 4 kids. So I am looking. The lady is saying, I am looking for somebody who's also like-minded, who's also been divorced with kids, because then that compromise makes sense.
Of course,
it's not, and then obviously it makes it easier. So people try and find somebody who has been divorced, if that generation of the 30s, 40s, to say that we're happy to consider someone who's divorced with kids, because then some men who are divorced have had 1 child, for example, they're going through that experience of the courts. This is all that's what it's about. So men are saying that, look, there's child maintenance involved in United Kingdom. British Muslim Pakistanis are going through this whole divorce and courts process, and who loses that? The children are going through a lot. They do. And this is again, the trauma comes into this. Anxiety comes into this. I know the guys,
they've been married, they're trying to meet their children. The women are not allowing them to meet their children. There's so much going on.
It's really, really sad. So the men are going through that, where they're saying that, we're having to go through courts, and they're spending in thousands, like one visit's £1,000. It can get really messy. So some people have come to our events saying that, look, I'm just gone through a divorce. I never thought, my wife would leave me. And now that we are divorced, the first thing she's done is withdrawn me from seeing my child. So we're asking about when people are saying that, the men are saying that women are, so if I've come to your event to get married, I'm okay. I've been divorced. I have a child, but my wife has that child, and now it's really hard to even go through the courts to even see my child. I haven't seen my daughter or son for 6 months.
Wow.
And up until 6 months ago, we were in the same house. Exactly. So they're saying that, look, we haven't seen our child in 6 months. I'm only now getting the first hearing through the courts to see my daughter, and it puts the father under a lot of stress. So they're now, what they're saying is that they're frightened to have any more children. So they'll consider somebody they're married, divorced, but they'll consider someone who's never been married, for example, in their 30s, 40s, or another a divorced person, but they don't want children.
Of course,
there's so many aspects. Children comes into it.
Yeah.
The child maintenance, the access to children. So, they come with the package. And in that age, you have to be willing to accept that package. So the gentlemen that are coming to the events that are in the 40s, they also find that, women sort of do group up. They sort of get into a group, and they kind of are like passive aggressive. They are saying that some women are rude. So, women are becoming a bit abrupt. Maybe are they abrupt because they know what they want now that, they've been divorced and they have children, or are they abrupt because they're not giving themselves a chance and they're not giving somebody else a chance? And the men also, they're struggling a lot, but they're professionals. They're coming into the events. They're professionals. They have a lot to offer, but they can't find the right medium because the women are already, a lot of people that are coming to the events at that age are divorced and have children. When a 40-year-old or a 37-year-old wants to consider someone in the younger age group at events are saying that the gentlemen are too old.
I mean, that's fair as well. If they don't want it,
they don't want that.
And we talked about social media in general earlier.
In general,
let's talk about Instagram on TikTok specifically.
Yes.
Has they completely changed the expectations of marriage for men and women both?
Yes, I think for men. So again, I have. So if you're talking about social media, so I have asked, for example, I've asked my, cousins, family, friends, for example, if they're looking for proposals, come to these events, come to the events, and the guys are like, they're like, that girls got, so what's happened is women are plastering their photos and pictures all over social media.
Yeah, they are.
And guys, again, like I said, they still hold their traditional values as well. They have their non-negotiables, and I've had feedback from boys who are 24 to 27 saying that, well, her picture's all over social media. She's, her account's open. It's not a private account, and this sister's got her pictures all over social media.
Maybe she's a content creator.
That's the other problem. There's too many content creators. There's too many influencers, and guys are like, my friend was talking to her the other day, so I don't want to talk to her. It brutally, in those words, some guys are saying that my friend spoke to that girl, and now, and exactly, and now I don't want, she's been speaking to 10 other guys, and that's a opinion of, they look at it, they're saying their accounts are open, their pictures are all over social media. Like, I wouldn't want that woman as my wife.
Oh, man, he has got the right to say that.
I mean, that's their opinion, but it's like, a lot of, that's the thing. Everyone now, because TikTok, obviously, everyone thinks they're a TikToker now.
Yeah, everyone thinks they're a TikToker.
Everyone thinks they're a TikToker. You got so many features. That's the thing. Instagram and TikTok give you so many features that you can create, post. Even now, when the daughters are doing TikTok videos, the kids, the mums are joining in. Which is quite cute. It's not a bad thing as well. There's no right or wrong answer. The thing is that it's a preference, but social media is holding such a huge, it's holding a negative vibe. Is basically, the expectations are so high that the girls are like, we want this, we want a lavish wedding. We, like you said, the biggest thing, you're saying that they're doing it for the outfit. I mean, that's absolutely disgusting.
It is.
It's disgusting that they're doing it for the vibe. It's the vibe.
That's a new thing. Vibe everywhere.
It's the vibe, and who can get more? And who's going to get more following? And they're forgetting. There's no authenticity. There's no authenticity left. There's no that parda, sharm, haya. I think guys still want that, they want somebody, but this is the other thing, like just getting on the train, speaking to a complete stranger, she's saying that their generation all are saying 50-50. I mean, my generation, it was unheard of. The man,
but for the man, it's perfect as a man. For me, 50-50 is amazing. I'm all right. Like, you pay for it as well then if you want to pay for it.
But our
Deen, our generation, Deen told us as a man, you have to provide her. You have to pay for it.
That's it.
Everything. You have to provide.
Yeah, you have to provide
for your wife.
unless you could not.
Then
unless
obviously.
you can't afford. And the thing is, but men are now taking that out of context. They're like, if you, they feel like it's 50-50 because you think you want to be so dominant and you want to be the leader and maybe you're the provider and they've got this whole different sort of they're living in their own little bubble. Like it's basically each to their own. But the biggest thing is with social media, the other thing is that the accounts are open. Everyone wants to post pictures. And, in our generation, there was no pictures.
No.
We didn't have pictures. No. Like, you saw one picture, garai, baat hui,
That's now, traditional parents involved.
Parents are involved, Yes, there was that generation that when they were 18, they were madly in love as well with people. And, those marriages have worked. And, sometimes from that age, when they're married at 24 to 31, those marriages have broken as well. And they've got children and divorces from that. However, in our generation, I would say, yes, that traditional, we didn't have exposure. Then it only, in our time, Facebook was just coming into light.
Yes.
Facebook was very new.
New thing, yeah.
It's a new thing now. It's like fizzled, it's still sort of...
We used to poke each other on Facebook.
Yeah, you poke this, but exactly, the poking. And it was Facebook, and there was nothing more than Facebook. Then, obviously, Instagram was introduced.
2010, I think Instagram came in.
Wow. Instagram came about, and then after Instagram, it was
changed.
It's changed.
Everything is changed.
TikTok is going at 100 miles per hour.
That's so true.
You have to keep up with TikTok. TikTok is on a different next level.
So
TikTok's
true.
on the next level. But I have got like 3 first-hand situations where people have married. So what happens is people are like just casually talking, or posting or commenting on a feed.
Oh, okay.
And then that's how, someone might inbox you. But then there's a lot, again, like someone of my age, I don't know, my generation, we probably restrict everything. We're like restrict messages, restrict access. But things of this, everything's too open.
Yeah.
It's too open. And a lot of, a lot of people are going through like modeling and they're like, we know that model, the men are saying, we know this girl, like, she, we went to university together and she was with my friend, like, no, I wouldn't want to,
of course,
I don't want to get to know her. And the guys' opinions are really, really different. I mean, there are some guys at this age that are the younger generation that are working really hard. They are working hard, but like this, what they're saying is that we need to earn enough, to compete with social media and, TikTok and Instagram to compete with this generation. Or if they're madly in love with someone, they're going to have to, level up to that expectation.
Do you
because
think
the girl,
sorry, go on.
The girls are saying that, I want this, I want my wedding in this venue and I want this outfit and, they want the lavish wedding and, the guys are feeling the pressure of perhaps.
That's what I was about to say, the pressure. Like, do you think it's getting extra pressure on the guys?
Yeah, it's extravagant. The pressure's quite high, But they, on the other side, like me and my friend were talking and they were also suggesting that, we also were saying that some people do want simple weddings. Yeah. However, cultural and, social media doesn't allow it. Is obstructing. There's an obstruction. There's an obstruction. And why we're saying the divorce rates are high is because watching social media, the bottom line is that people are getting divorced within 6 months to a year because there is no sabr. There's no sacrifice. There's no compromise.
Exactly. I've heard a story. I don't know how much truth in it, but someone told me that people got married, Bengali family, lavish wedding. I've seen the photos. Rich people, amazing wedding 2-3 years ago. They went on a honeymoon, came back divorced.
Subhanallah. Why would that be? Exactly.
Why are you going to spend that much money on a wedding day and then you come back and you divorce?
I think the thing is, the biggest thing is that the generation, they're lacking communication skills. People are too rude. They're becoming too rude and abrupt. By watching, so where you're asking, the social media influence on the TikTok is people are too rude. There's too much competition. There's too much competition.
And what about these dating apps? Are people coming off these dating apps and coming to face
People do say they love the face-to-face events. They do appreciate that.
Muslim dating apps are getting out of fashion, or is still there?
I need to do some research on that, but I think the dating apps will always be there as well.
Yeah,
they're always there.
The
easiest thing is swiping. They are there, but like I said, there's such a grey area with the Pakistan, the British Muslim apps. There is a grey area because the thing is, you could waste all your life.
That's true.
Swiping, like you said, and there are in everything. Look, there's a balance in everything. There is a probability that there are successful cases. Like I said, I've had. I know firsthand people who have married through TikTok.
You mentioned.
I know people who have married now through the apps as well, whether it's whichever social apps there are. However, it's basically it's all down to you as an individual.
That's
how
true.
you portray yourself, how you position yourself in life, and people are forgetting their Lord, Deen.
Let's talk about Gen Z as well. We were talking about Gen Z earlier.
Yeah, that generation. That generation is not my generation.
No, but then you have good experience. You meet people and stuff.
Yes, of course.
So what do parents misunderstand about Gen Z, you think?
I think that they don't understand them. I think they're a complete different, that generation, there's a lot of anxiety with that generation. And the parents they don't understand anxiety. They don't understand.
Is it the first generation growing up with the Instagram and stuff? That's why, isn't it?
Yes, that's the thing. Instagram, and like I said, it was during COVID, wasn't it? So during COVID, what happened to those children? They were doing their GCSEs to their A levels. What happened? They had to do them all from home. Yeah, and all of a sudden, everyone's like in each other's face in one home. There's no space, But these children that are growing up with, with a generation where we're meeting friends and going out, all of a sudden everything's withdrawn from them. They're isolated. So once they've become isolated, it's the anxiety has risen. They've seen that generation has seen themselves lose their grandparent. Their mother. They've lost their grandparents. They've lost their father and mother. And all of a sudden they've been raised. I know a first-hand situation where people have lost their parents in COVID, both their parents, and these children are quite young. So what's happening is there's a lot of anxiety and trauma. The trauma of that generation is quite high.
Yeah, that's true.
And from every other household, like I said before, there's a lot of mental health cases as well, which again, I think we're talking about the parents, the British Muslim Pakistani parents, they have to very quickly advance themselves and get with the current times, and also educate themselves in what's going on.
That's true. Let's quickly do some quick fire. We had a long conversation and very fruitful conversation. Quick, trying to answer in one word if you can.
Right.
Yeah? Biggest turn off.
Biggest turn off is not living at home.
Biggest green flag.
Deen.
Arranged marriage or finding someone yourself.
50-50.
Love before marriage or after marriage.
After marriage.
Wedding or nikah.
Nikah.
Biggest mistake Muslim parents make.
Communication.
Biggest mistake Muslim men make.
Rush into things.
And biggest mistake Muslim women make.
They're not practical.
And you can answer this one longer. That should people marry younger?
Yes.
And why?
Because you will grow together. So when you marry younger, right, there's two things. You marry young, you have a baby young. So obviously with women, they have the biological clock is ticking. You marry young, you can purchase your first home together when you're young. You can grow together and you can build together. The biggest example is that my niece, for example, married outside. So the other thing is that a lot of people now are marrying outside the culture as well. So a lot of people, so for example, I know somebody who married a Egyptian.
Okay.
They bought their first home together. When you have two people's salary come together, it helps you grow together. It helps you sort of understand each other. You will love each other more. I think, then it's not, once you get married, they want to have children within the first year or 2 years. Then you've got responsibility.
True.
So it's all about responsibility. Then once that responsibility, so for example, my niece, she's bought her first home together with her husband. She's had her baby within the first year of marrying, mashallah, and they're both 24.
Good.
So that's an example, and the thing is that with everything, the thing is they're young themselves, but however, they will learn, they learn together, grow together.
Okay. All right, perfect. Is marriage getting easier or harder?
A lot harder.
And why is that? Very quickly.
People's perspectives and intentions have changed towards marriage. The people are lacking the authentic way and reason for marriage. They're forgetting the purpose of life and forgetting the purpose of marriage and why two people come together in marriage. People now are forgetting that, you come together in a partnership. Some people say that marriage is a contract. It's not a business contract. It's a sacrifice. It's basically compromise, and it's basically learning and understanding each other. So I would say that people need to respect each other, and tolerance levels are low.
Brilliant, beautiful. If you could change one thing inside the British Muslim community around marriage, what it would be?
Humble yourself.
Do you think that is the problem in the British Muslim community?
British Muslim community now have too many options. So once they have too many options, marriage is becoming a secondary, concern for them. For them, it's like women are working. Men want 50-50. Women and men are not seeing eye to eye. They're not compromising. They're not negotiating. And I would say in any marriage, you need to give it 5 years.
Minimum 5 years.
Minimum 5 years. It's a lot of sacrifice. If you're living with the in-laws, we never touched based on this. If you're living with the in-laws, you give your marriage 4 to 5 years. It's about compromise. You learn from each other. You have to respect each other's families, boundaries. It's all about boundaries. They need to come back to reality. And, sometimes it's all about, I think, the British Muslim community are beautiful. And the thing is, they know what they want. I don't think they're against marriage. I don't think the generation is against marriage. I think it's the economy, it's the pressure, it's basically, it is becoming unaffordable to get married. But if you can do you could do a simple nikah. But the thing is that people are now struggling, and the thing is that it's all about men is the provider, man is a provider. Yes, we know what Islam says, but like again, we said again and again that if he cannot afford it straight away, the question I have is, would a woman compromise and say, do you know what, I will live with your family?
That's the thing we want to talk about.
Yes.
Living with in-laws. Let's talk about it. Right.
So why not live with the in-laws? You can live with the in-laws. And the thing is, what people don't see is that sometimes parents are there to support you, to help their children. So stay at home, live at home, basically save up enough for yourselves so you can then afford your future home. You could afford your future home. However, there is also, there's nothing wrong with living with the in-laws. Obviously, again, it comes about respect and sacrifice, and the husband can lead the partner and what is right and wrong. But sometimes, obviously, things can become unbearable
They do.
living with in-laws, and you will be tested, like our prophets were tested. Subhanallah. Look, everyone's going to be tested in life, and you will be tested.
What's a man's role living with in-laws? Like the mother and wife.
Yeah.
And as a man, what's your role, ideal role to keep this going? Because you need to live with your, as a man, if I want to live with my parents, and you said, okay, you have to live with your in-laws. So what's a man's role to make it happen, to make it work?
The man has to be fair on both sides. So it's again about compromise. He will. A man should be leading the way. He would inform you of what the family. You have to learn about his family, and you have to learn about each other's. You have to, more than the man learning about the woman's family, because obviously you're living with the in-laws.
So you need to make an effort.
You need to make an effort. You need to learn and compromise and learn the boundaries of what is acceptable in their household to what your household. So it's all about culture. Again, just family to family in a Pakistani household, in a Pakistani British household, there's culture. Each, surprisingly, in a Pakistani household, there's going to be different cultures.
Yeah.
From what you were raised to what they're raised. It's
completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
So how are you going to now settle? And settle yourself and be in this household that's not your parents. So now these are your husband's parents. What are you going to do? Are you going to start seeing them differently, or are you going to call them mom and dad? The day you learn to respect them and call them mom and dad, then it could be a game changer for you. So it's up to the woman also. So a woman obviously is sacrificing by coming into the male's home, into the husband's home.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a big sacrifice. And the husband, how he needs to be quite supportive.
Yes, that's where the man's thing is.
A supportive husband.
Yes.
So and also the thing is that husband will tell you what the green flags are and the red flags are in my household.
Right.
So a man needs to, that's what I say, lead. He would tell you what you would know. Now you're coming into this household, what it is. You can't throw somebody in the deep end. It's not like you're going to go into a role and, in anything, you're going to go into a role and learn it. But the thing is, it's a man will prep you for, you're coming into my home, this is how things are in our home. And it's about adjusting. It's all about adjusting to that environment and whether you can adjust to it. Look, there are good stories and bad stories, and there's some scary stories. But it works both ways. So if you respect the husband's family, then it will be reciprocated. You will see the rewards of it, and sometimes you may not see the rewards of it. But how much? The question is, how much are you willing to sacrifice?
That's beautiful what you just said.
Thank you.
That was very good.
How much are you willing to
sacrifice? You might going to see the reward of it, you might not going to see it. But you're showing respect to your husband's family.
Yeah. And you need to, once you show that respect to your husband's family, you will see the rewards. Like, the thing you could do is do your salah, pray, and also, show that respect. And the husband also then will love you more.
That's true.
Because a way to a man's heart is through his family.
That's so true.
And then his stomach.
That's so true.
Is the family.
Both of them, that absolutely.
You have to, it's 50-50. Like you have to, if the day when you respect his family, he will automatically respect your family.
That's 100% true.
So I think, and the thing is that it's not going to be a bed of roses. It's not going to be easy. No one says, look, our prophets went through everyone. The biggest thing is tawakkul. People don't trust in the timing or don't have sabr, patience.
They want it quick.
They want quick.
They have got Uber Eats and all that.
Uber Eats, exactly. That's a good one. Yeah, click.
I just tap in now. 5 minutes, my food should be here.
Exactly.
That's what they want.
Not going to happen. Yeah, it's you have to. You have to basically make you have to make that you have to make it, respect is given and respect is received. It's a two-way process. So in order to receive that respect, you have to it's going to be a compromise. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy living with the in-laws, living with you had it your way, one way, and now it's changed. Now where you could have perhaps a lie-in, or you don't have to cook when you don't want to cook and your own mother's home, in your parents' home, but now you've gone to your husband's home. Things are going to get a little bit more spicy.
That's right.
You know, you're going to have to get your hands dirty.
That's right.
You have to do the hard work in order to see the reward. In anything, you go out to work, you know, you have to be at work at 9 o'clock. Same way, there's certain roles and responsibilities you've got to do because it's just part of the process of marriage. And, you know, you should have date nights. You know, who says you don't?
Yes,
you should have
it's
date
very
nights.
important.
It's very important. Have your date nights, you know. Plan in advance, you know, make sure you know that revive the marriage. And it's all possible living with the in-laws. You just have to find that medium. You have to balance, you know, you have to see, it's like in anything, trial and error. You know, your first 6 months is your 3 to 6 months is the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
So you have to go in, you know, all fully geared up. Like, you know, I'm going to give it my best for my, you know, this is my first job. This is my first, like, this is my marriage. Like, wow, I'm married now, and you know, things are about to change. And
then things do get changed.
Things do change. They're not what you see.
Want it all the ways the way it used to be. It has to be this way.
You're not going to be on the phone to your friends 24/7. You know, you are going to have to sacrifice and compromise. And the biggest thing is that just have to help each other. You know, you grow together, and it's about learning each other. And the thing is, you're not going to only learn about your in-laws. You will learn about your husband.
Yeah.
You know what was the phase of talking phase and getting to know each other.
Was just,
that's all out the window, guys.
Now you're living with him. Then now you learn.
Welcome to the real one.
That's it. What advice do you have for a young British Asian girl watching and looking to get married? What advice you have for her?
My biggest advice is, look, don't go in all guns blazing, saying, I want this is my checklist. Chuck your checklist, you know, out of the window. You know, you have to compromise in a marriage, and you have to give your marriage not 3 months and 6 months. That's honeymoon period. You have to give your marriage, you know, anything between 3 to 6 years. You know, if you want to survive, as well as be happy. No one's be happy. You don't have to survive. You want to be happy. Be happy in your marriage, and you know, make it. You know, unless
put your effort into it.
Obviously, unless our husband or a wife is abusive, then that's a different thing. Unless you've been sold a different picture, or there's something bigger issue that's unfortunate, then that's. By the will of Allah, you know, you can't control that.
Of course,
But if you know that you know that there's little things like, you know, just the smallest things, you have to.
He put his towel on on the bed.
Exactly. But exactly, he didn't make the bed. He didn't make, you know, I didn't get my coffee this morning, or I didn't get my tea this morning, or whatever it is. You have to you have to give your marriage a chance.
What one advice do you have for a young Muslim British man watching, and they're looking to get married? What advice do you have for them? You know, try and boycott this 50-50. I'm a bit. I mean, I guess that's like a very. You know, I'm being a bit shallow about that. Not even shallow. It's just I'm basically being. You know, chuck the 50-50 out the window. Like, you know, be a man.
Be a man. Give
be a provider.
Be a provider. Give the lady a chance. Yeah. You know, like, you know, don't be quick to say, you know, this is it. You're going to give up. You know, both of you have to make it work. You know, if a woman also is not compromising or is not so forthcoming, you know, try and work it through. Work it through amongst yourselves. Like, think about all the times you met before you were married. Like, go back to that. And also, if something is so bad and you're thinking that, you know, I can't survive this, go back to the Quran and the Sunnah of our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That go back to the start of everything, where things go back. Open the Quran, open the book. Go into sujood if you need guidance. Go into sujood. Go and pray, and perhaps there you may find answers. But the main thing is that if you guys both are on, you know, if one is more stronger on the deen and the other one is not, this should bring you guys. Isn't it? Yeah, a partnership bring you together.
And what one advice do you have for parents of young people who are looking to get married?
try and understand your children. You know, perhaps, you know, work with them. You know, I do think that parents are a lot more, you know, giving now. I think parents are giving into children quite a lot. However, they need to read up on things about anxiety, about trauma. If they don't understand that why children, you know, are more closed off and they're not, you know, some children don't want to leave the homes and some do want to leave the homes. And if your children are not coming home, you know, be alert as well. So, you know, like socially, the parents need to be alert of what's going on. But I think the biggest thing is that they need to understand, you know, why their children are so socially awkward. And if they are, then what's the reasons? And if children and the parents, I think the parents are doing a great job. You know, parents are sacrificing a lot as well for their children. So the one thing is to bounce that back, you know, there's no right and wrong answer. The parents are, you know, I think are doing a fantastic job, what they had to put up with and do in COVID with their children. You know, what other parent could do that? They've had to raise them, keep them at home, provide for them, feed them, and, you know, deal with their mood swings and things like that. So, you know, hats off to the parents that have, you know, raised their children in such a tough time in this economy where everything is so extortionate, so extravagant. You know, if your child has come out on the other side, you know, you're a lucky parent. And, you know, mashallah, congratulations to you.
And if someone looking to get married and they want to get in touch, want to come to your event, how they can go about it?
They can reach us on Instagram.
What's your Instagram handle? I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, it's on BritishMuslimMarriages.com is Instagram. They can reach us on TikTok. Also inbox us on in Instagram. But the main thing is they can have a look at, we have our obviously work line, so message us there. And they can reach out to me and myself via the work phone. So obviously they can WhatsApp us anytime they want. And have a conversation.
And they're going to find the number on Instagram.
They'll find the number on Instagram. Instagram's the best way. We're on Facebook as well. We're on TikTok. So we're on all the social apps.
Of course.
Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, not on Snap. But they just need to inbox myself, Sophia, you know, whatever they would like to call me, I'm Sophie. They can inbox myself on Instagram. Obviously, we've got a work number. Just WhatsApp us, send us a normal message. And reach out to us on Instagram. To be honest, that's my biggest platform at the moment, and TikTok. And there's always someone.
And do you see any hope in future, Sophia? Working like people are. Is it all?
Yeah, there is hope. There's always hope. There is definitely hope. And you know, the thing is, like, we just, you know, someone is made for someone out there, and it's finding your a like-minded person. So, you know, obviously, like the divorcees want, you know, people who are divorced because perhaps they can understand each other better. But for the gents that are in their 30s, 40s, you know, they perhaps are willing to compromise, which is good. I think, you know, if anything, there is hope. The sisters, you know, perhaps they need to just shorten their, you know, wish list.
And what's the takeaway message from today? I felt is sacrifice and compromise. Otherwise, you have got no chance. Is that true?
That's true.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. Yeah.
In a marriage.
Yeah, and respect. You know, like respect each other. Of course. Respect, compromise, and sacrifice. Absolutely. And the thing is, one big thing is boundaries. Know your boundaries. You've got to respect your boundaries.
Respect your boundaries.
Respect your boundaries. Like the thing is, you know, boundaries are everything. Sacrifice. And the thing is, if you are on the path of deen, then make sure you find someone on that path of deen and the same medium, you know. If you are on the path of Islam, you know, always the biggest lesson is that always go back, you know, if sisters are struggling in their 30s and 40s, you know, go into sujood, into sajda, you know, and have tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think a lot of people are missing the fact of taqwa and tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What about the birds that go out empty and come back full with a full belly? So it's all about trusting the process, having yaqeen and tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and trusting the process. There may be years where you're waiting, you know, it's been 5 years, it's been 3 years. but just wait for that miracle. What about those sisters those mothers who are, married, and those, you don't know, the struggle is real for those people who are married as well. They might want to have children and they haven't had children, and then Allah's call will come. So you just have to wait for the right timing.
Thank you very much, Sophia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.